point of this discussion.
Brother,
Okay.
you don't understand Islam, you know.
Okay. So he's come here and claimed that this guy's a prophet in it, and I'm here telling him he's not a prophet with verses, clear verses from the Quran saying that he's that Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the last prophet. The Prophet himself said there will be nobody after him. There's authentic hadiths of him saying there will be nobody after him.
Great. So now, Brother Mo, he wants to say that what you're presenting is false, right? Do you have an evidence? Let's go one by one and let's define that. Do you have any evidence you want to present to Brother? What's your name? It's very difficult to refer to you.
Me, my name's Ismail.
Ismail. So is there any solid evidence that you want to present to Brother Ismail that he can discuss further? Like, what do you think when somebody comes to you and says, like, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is not a prophet? What kind of evidence would you like to present to him?
Okay, so bro, we've been discussing I was saying to him already before he was here, you would have known. What I've explained to him is that, we have to understand, that if you love Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then you should also love his Sunnah. You should also love his teachings. You should also love his Messiah, the Mahdi, and the Khalifa. So to accept Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you need a Khalifa, you need a Messiah. If you don't
everyone read this. Make me big screen again. I just want this brother to read it.
You are lost. So if you
Muhammad is not the father of any of your men, but is the messenger of Allah and the seal of the Prophet.
Brother,
Allah has perfect knowledge.
Let him finish, brother. Brother, let him finish.
Okay,
brother Ismail, let him finish, please. He's very nice. He's giving you time on his live, so just let him finish, please.
That's a good point.
We've gone through this before as well. I explained to him, it's very difficult sometimes because the people that are around us, they are going to be, Sunnis, or they're going to be, a certain sect. So it's very difficult to come out of a certain way of, thinking. But if you love Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then you also have to love the Quran, And when you love the Quran, then you love also Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, And then, it is, you need a prophet, you need a Messiah, you need a Khalifa, you need to be united, And the only way to do that is to follow a Khalifa and Messiah. If you're going to follow the then you're going to be falling into kufr. Because what these scholars are teaching you, if you look at the Quran, what they teach and what the Quran is completely different. So when you actually do your research and you actually open up the Quran and you find that Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, has passed away, then you have to see, why are these people lying? And where this is coming from? And it's clear cut, it is the Dajjalic system. That is lying to us. So we have to try to beat this Dajjalic system. And the only way to do it, is to follow Islam and Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Khalifa and the Messiah.
Okay.
So hello. To be honest with you, if I had ever come to you and asked you that, can you give me a proof of prophethood of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and you answered me this, I'd be extremely confused, because evidence is, you see Mirza Ghulam Ahmad wrote this and this is this. You actually talk about like so vast of topics that it's actually very difficult to engage with you. So inshallah, if you want to do this, I think so it might be better if you say, okay, fine. Because there was a prophecy about Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and this is the prophecy and this is how it's fulfilled. That would be something more tangible to deal with, right? Because right now it's going to be like, people are going to talk about vast things and there's not going to be any conclusion at the end.
Okay, my question is, how can Mirza Ghulam be the prophet, Messiah, or the Mahdi? How can he be both?
Okay, so but the way Mirza Ghulam can be the Messiah, the Mahdi, is by first having wahi from Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, So Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala has to reveal to him. Once he's revealed to him, then he has to guide him. He has to protect him.
Hello. I've been waiting.
Okay. So wait. Can I speak?
I have. Yeah, I think Google was it first. Yes, brother.
Okay, let him speak then.
Yeah. So I wanted to know is who's the man? This picture. Who's this man?
But he's the Messiah, the Mahdi, a prophet, a Rasul. Yeah, so brother, it's sometimes very difficult to understand, but what you have to do is you have to do your research. You have to open up the Quran. Once you open up the Quran, you have to understand, the way to love
Okay.
Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you need a Messiah, you need a Khalifa. Once you
Why he's
understand that,
gone?
because if you open up the Quran and it clearly says that Jesus passed away, he has died, and
He
then
did.
there's a system that's telling you, no, he has not died, he's still alive in the heavens,
He is alive.
and then it's also teaching you, that
You know, I've read a book on this guy called Mirza, and the book that I read was from the British Archives, which I found from a library, and it was in there with the British Raj of rule in India, and they documented a lot of his life and his mission. And at the end of that book, there was a sad story to his life, where he passed away in his own feces.
okay, so if you're gonna come on here, then be a helpers of the Dajjal, the people that are lying to you, then what's the point, What's the point of meaning of life, The meaning of life is to love Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, follow the Quran and the Hadiths.
Okay, so
So you have to be very careful.
the question was,
Yes, brother.
where does it in the Quran says Isa alayhi salam died?
I think if it arises, one brother can tell you as well. It says, "Isqala Allahu ya Isa inni mutawafika." I remember the time when
And
he
you,
told Jesus
okay,
to
wait,
die.
so you're referring to this Surah Imran, verse 35.
Yeah,
If
you should.
qala Allah wa Isa inni mutawaffika. Is that
Yes,
what you're referring to?
yes.
Define mutawaffika.
Mutawafika means death.
No, it doesn't.
Then what does it mean?
It means raised or elevated.
Right.
Okay, wait.
Uh,
Even if it means death, right? What tense is it?
Are you asking me or him?
I'm asking Brother Mo. What tense is it? Is it past tense, future tense, or present tense?
Okay, so you believe it's past tense, right? But if you just read it, it clearly says that Jesus has died. So if he's died,
Okay.
so then obviously he is gone, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
past.
Let's inshallah break it down. It says is when. Right?
Okay, so brother, Rise Wonder, bro. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go into this debate, right? Because it's clear. I don't need to go on it over and over again.
No, it's actually because that's the thing.
Okay, so what's being said? Because I was gone for a minute.
There's no point, bro. There's no point, arguing over this.
Wait, can someone make me big? Yeah, go on. Someone read this.
Yeah, bro. We read it 100
Brother, you
times.
can't see that.
Okay, can you make me like a bit of a smaller big screen so that you can see it
We
most?
can't. They can't.
Okay, so bro, what it is, right, is that I know that many Sunni people, they believe that Jesus is passed away.
We're aware of the verse,
But the only question, that's still, left for an answer is that if Jesus has passed away, right, then
But he hasn't, though.
how can there be a prophet
Well,
after him?
So
I think this
Brother Mo, do you
is a
know
major
something
question.
called
When people
Brother Mo,
hear when people hear that after Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam there is a messenger, there's a Nabi, then this is when they get confused. This is when
yes, Brother Mo, do you know what
Let me ask him this.
Can I tell you something? Do you want to know how your so-called prophet died?
Wait a second, bro.
He died on the
Wait a
toilet.
second,
Yeah.
man. So, what's your name, Ahmed? What's the difference between mutawafika and tawafika?
Okay, yes, bro. So obviously, one is that one is taking of the soul, and the other one is taking of the soul when you die, when you're dead.
No. So let me tell you what it means. Mutawafika means it's been raised or elevated, where tawafika means literally death.
No, you're not right about this. Just to confirm.
What does tawfiq mean?
So the issue here is that mutawafika is a future tense, right? No matter what you want to take the meaning of it, tawafika means to take in full. Like the actual Arabic dictionary meaning is to take in full or take in completion. Take something in completion, right?
No, that's not right. That's not right.
So no, that is Arabic language, bro. So
No,
like that is the lexicon.
Arise. Are you Pakistani or what?
He's actually an advanced Arabic student. So just listen to his arguments, then you can understand more.
So he's gonna
Just
teach
let him finish.
Arab what it means. Okay.
Okay.
No, he's let him finish.
Omar, you're an Arab, inshallah, if you can, because he thinks he's Arab and mutawafika means to raise. You don't even, if you're Arab, if you're an Arab, you're not even on the right word for the raise.
Listen, mutawafika means temporary taking.
Yes, taking, not raising.
Yeah, like when you're asleep.
It's not raising. You can't
the rafa part is the raising.
Raise and temporary, same thing, brother.
No, brother.
Raise and taking is the same thing?
Habibi. No, Habibi lost one. Lost
you're confused and you're confusing everyone.
No, it's okay. Arise. He's trying to. He has the same. He has a good point, but he's just not presenting it well. The verse of mutawafika, according to our understanding, the mutawafika is the taking in full part, and the rafi'uka is the raising part. So yes, he was taken by raising, but the mutawafika word itself, if you just take it by itself, it does not mean raise. You cannot say that because our Ahmadi brothers are going to say Muslims are lying. That's why Brother Arise is correcting you, even though you're on the same page. He's just correcting you as your Muslim brother.
Yeah, they also know what it means though.
Okay,
wafaya is to take in full or to reward in full or to receive in full. So wafa. So that's the root meaning. And yes, we don't deny that mutawafika is metaphorically, in a majazi sense, it means death. We don't deny that. But we deny when somebody says it's the only meaning. This is our problem. Unfortunately, many of the Ahmadis, they will deny all the other meanings and only stick to one meaning. And this is one of the major problems that we have. And actually, Mirza Sahib himself used these words as to reward in full or to cause death. He used both meanings, Mirza Sahib. Yes, eventually he focused on the fact that Jesus is dead, so this word must mean Jesus is dead. We don't deny
He's not dead.
But what I don't understand is, right, that how can you believe that Jesus is not dead? And that he's
It says in the Quran, he's been raised.
First use your common sense, bro. First use your common sense.
What's it common sense, bro?
Okay.
Use your common sense. Think about it.
Okay, Brother Mo.
Human being
How did this question can be very easily answered, and I answered it the other day as well. How could Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahab believe that Isa alayhi salam was alive for 52 years of his life? Didn't he have common sense? Because everything you're gonna throw at us would basically mean that you'll have to put the same hukam on Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and you're not gonna like it.
Because bro, what you have to understand is, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam also had a mission. His mission was to go to the lost tribe of Israel. And if you see the Holy Scriptures, we also find, that Jesus, he only went to the tree, and there were 10 that were still missing.
Yes, so my friend, does it solve the problem that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib was reading the same ayahs, and he was reading the same Quran, and for 52 years he had exactly the same belief as the Muslims?
Yeah, this is why.
So anything you're going to say that we don't have common sense, we don't understand Arabic, any allegation you'll put on us, you'll have to put the same allegation on Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib as well. This is a very difficult situation for you.
This is why I say you have to go to the Quran first. When you
so Mirza Sahib was wrong for 52 years of his life.
If you do not believe that Jesus has passed away, then that means that you are following a Dajjalic belief.
Not more. I think you're understanding the argument more.
Jesus is sitting alive in the heavens.
You're dodging the question.
Let me try.
I'm telling you,
Mirza Ghulam.
I'm trying to help you to understand. You have to accept the Quran.
Did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahab? Yes. So did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahab had a Dajjalic belief until the age of 52?
No, brother, Aziz Mirza Ghulam Qadiani never believed that Jesus was sitting alive with his body in heaven. This is not the way Allah subhanahu wa
He
ta'ala,
actually did believe that.
you have to
Brother,
He
understand.
actually,
absolutely, I told
Brother, you
you
can
in
understand
Brahine Ahmadiyya, I can open it again for you. He absolutely believed that he was alive in the skies with his body, and he'll come back in a bodily form.
Brother,
He'll do
this is
the
why I
nuzul in
say
Brahine
you have to go to
Ahmadiyya
the
1
Quran
to 4.
first. Go to the Quran first, Razwana, brother. I'm telling you to go to the Quran first. First, you have
Yes,
to
Okay, what?
but
understand
that is
that
the
All right.
the
problem.
Quran
You
clearly
see,
saying that
Mirza
Jesus has
Ghulam Ahmad
passed away.
Sahab went to the
If
Quran and
you
he
do not
had
believe
exactly
that
the same
Jesus has
belief as
passed
me.
away, then you fall into kufr, brother. If you believe
Brother,
that Jesus
brother,
has
your
passed
Mirza
away,
Ghulam also read the same
Was,
Quran as us,
he's
brothers,
in
and
heaven
yes,
brothers,
was
alive.
Mirza Ghulam Ahmad the kafir for 52 years?
No,
can we
brother.
let
Because
Mo
everything you'll
finish?
tell me, it's going to
Yeah,
be a
Can we
Razwana,
let
but you
no.
have
Mo
to be very
finish?
careful. Otherwise,
Can we let Mo finish, please? He will
yeah,
tell you
so
when you can
Razwana,
talk.
yeah,
Yes,
Razwana, but you
Mo.
have to be very
Tell
careful.
us when we can talk.
Yeah, so Razwana, you have to be very careful because it's not the way to go about things. Because I've clearly told you. First, you have to go to the Quran. Once you go to the Quran, you have to understand what the Quran is saying. The Quran has clearly said, that all living soul will suffer death. Everyone will pass away. Everyone will die. There's a fixed term that every human being goes on, spends his
okay,
time on this earth.
does that
It could
imply
be
to
for one
Jesus?
day. It could be for a couple of months. It could be for a year. It could be for 50 years. It could be for 100 years.
All right. Does it imply to
So
Isa al-Islam?
So yes, of course, everything applies for all human beings.
So
Why
why did Allah
are you
say?
taking away Jesus? If you
No,
take
wait,
away
wait, wait,
Jesus,
wait.
then
All right, wait,
you
wait.
cannot
Let
do
me
that.
finish.
It
Can
is
I finish?
wrong.
Can I finish?
So one second. So what I'm trying to tell you, okay, is that Jesus has passed away, and
He
it applies
hasn't.
to every human being. Yeah. What did you want to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I forgot.
Yeah. So this is why I am trying to tell you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to tell you what the
You're trying
Quran
to
is
help us.
stating.
You're not
Brother,
giving any Quranic verse, and you
Quran
claim and stuff.
The Quran is clearly saying that Jesus has passed away. He is dead. Why do you
How
want to
do
keep
they?
Jesus alive? If you believe that Jesus is alive, then you are falling into kufr.
Logically, where does it say in the Quran he died?
Okay, so brother, if you see,
There we go.
it says,
I'll read something.
it
I'll
says,
read something for you.
so if you go chapter 3, verse 55, 56, it says,
Yeah, we
Bismillah.
try. Yeah, we were trying to read
We're
that.
aware of the book. So
Yeah, so if you open up the Quran and go to chapter 3, 55, 56. It says, when Allah said, O Jesus, I will cause thee to die a natural death. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said,
I will. That
yes, I
is the
will.
highlight of the
look
verse.
at
I
this
will.
guy, bro, changing the meaning of the Quran. A'udhu.
Yeah, so brother, it does not
I
say,
will.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not
So
say,
see,
I will cause thee to die a natural death in the future. Or he's not saying that I will cause thee to go into the heavens alive and then come back and then I will cause
All
thee
no,
right,
no.
to
See,
come
would
see,
you
from
like to
see,
sleep.
finish
see.
this?
He's
Would you
not
like to
saying
finish
this.
the verse for me?
So brother, it is clearly saying that
Wait,
Muhammad
can you
that
finish the
Isa has
verse though?
passed
Can you
away.
finish the verse for me?
And will clear thee from the charges of those who disbelieve, and will place those who follow thee above those who disbelieve until the day of resurrection.
No, I'm talking about
We shall
Surah Maryam 1933. Read that for me. Surah Maryam 1933. Could you read that for me?
yeah. So, bro, I'm gonna tell you again. Okay,
Read it for me.
Jesus has passed away.
No. Stop making claim, bro. I told you to read the verse for me.
You cannot prove it from the Quran that Jesus
I've
is.
literally given you verse from the Quran. What are you talking about?
Okay, bro. I think. Okay, yes. Alaikum, brother Omar. Alright, Omar.
Wa alaikum salam. I really more just give a rise maybe 1 minute to just summarize his point about when he said that about the 50-year thing about Mirza Sahib.
With the brother Omar, I've spoken to him many times. He already knows.
No, I mean the thing is every time he tries to explain that I think What he's trying to say is not that Mirza Sahib did not believe that Isa alayhi salam is dead. We know that this is the final belief. But what Arising One is trying to say that Mirza Sahib he himself admitted that earlier he had the same belief as the Muslims. There is no doubt about this. Even the Murabbis, Razi and Co, they admit that Mirza Sahib had the same belief as us.
Because our brother Mo actually understands Urdu, so I can just read it and he can translate it for us, right? He says, मैंने ये लिखा था कि मसीह इब्न मरियम आसमान से नाजिल होगा. I wrote down that Isa ibn Maryam would descend from the sky. मगर बाद में ये लिखा कि आने वाला मसीह मैं ही हूँ. But later on I wrote that the Messiah that is supposed to come, it's me. इस तनाक़ुस का भी यही सबब था. He says that the reason for this contradiction कि अगरचा खुदा ताला ने इब्राहीम अंबिया में मेरा नाम ईसा रखा और ये भी मुझे फरमाया कि तेरे आने की खबर खुदा रसूल ने दी है. The reason for this contradiction was because even though I was named Isa in Ibrahim Anbiya and God told me that the prophecy of you coming has been given by God and his prophet, मगर चूंकि एक ग्रोह मुसलमानों का इस एतकाद पर जमा हुआ था और मेरा भी ये एतकाद था, but because a group of Muslims had this belief and I also had the same belief कि हज़रत ईसा आसमान से नाजिल होंगे, that ईसा अलैहि सलाम is going to descend from the sky. इसलिए मैंने खुदा की वही को ज़ाहिर पर अमल करना ना चाहा. That is the reason I did not take the revelation on the apparent. बल्कि इस वही की तावील की और अपना एतकाद वही रखा जो आम मुसलमानों का था. That is why I did not take the apparent of the wahi. I did explain away the revelation and I kept the same belief that was of the regular Muslims. और इसी को इब्राहीम अहमदिया में शाया किया. And I published the same belief in इब्राहीम अहमदिया. इस बारे में लेकिन बाद इसके बारे में बारिश की तरह वही नाजिल हुई कि मसीह मऊद आने वाला तू ही है. But after that revelation came to me like rain that you yourself are the promised Messiah. और साथ इसके सदा निशान ज़ुहूर में आए. And along with this many signs came into being और खबर की कि तुझे आने वाले आखिरी ज़माने मसीह वाले मैं ही हूँ. And that is when I forced myself to believe and come to this conclusion that the coming promised Messiah that was to come is actually me. फिर मैंने इस पर किफ़ायत ना करके इस वही को कुरान शरीफ पर अर्ज किया तो आयत कतिय दलाला से साबित हुआ कि दर हकीकत मसीह इब्न मरियम फौत हो गया और आखिरी खलीफा मसीह मऊद के नाम से इसी उम्मत में से आएगा. He says, then I presented my revelation on the Quran and then I saw the clear-cut ayahs that in fact Isa ibn Maryam has passed away and the last caliph who's named as the promised Messiah would come from the ummah of Nabiyina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he's very clear. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Sahib, this is Haqiqatul Wahi, that is Ruhani Khazan 22, page 153. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Sahib is very, very explicitly clear that before getting the revelation, the repeated revelation that came down as rain, I had exactly the same belief as the normal Muslims that Isa alayhi salam is going to come down from the sky. It is only when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent those wahi as raindrops and I was forced, he said I was forced by Allah to change my belief, and my new belief is that Isa alayhi salam has passed away and the promised Messiah is actually myself who is from the same ummah. So it's actually clear as the day that this is what Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is saying. So our point to Brother Mo was, like our question to Brother Mo was, that before getting this revelation that came down as rain, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani was reading the same Quran and he was from the Quran and Hadith, he was seeing the same belief that all us Muslims have, that Isa alayhi salam is alive and he's going to come down from the sky. He had exactly the same belief from Quran and Sunnah. He clearly said, इस वही को कुरान शरीफ पर अर्ज किया. He's very clear that I took my revelation and I used that revelation to understand the Quran and come to this conclusion. So he's using an external source of understanding to understand this from Quran and Hadith. He did not use like his intellect or his common sense to understand this from the Quran. He used his revelation to understand this from the Quran, and it's a very important point here.
Yeah, right on. Okay, mashallah, it's a good speech, mashallah. May Allah give you, hadayat. Maybe you should do khutbah as well, but mashallah. But what I want to say is that, of course.
Jazakallah khair for your du'as. I really appreciate that.
Now, I was gonna say, as Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, he's basically trying to say, that he had the same belief as other Muslims, whereas they are waiting for the Messiah, the Mahdi, to come from the heavens. If you see, he is, because we find hadiths where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when the Messiah comes, he will come from the heavens. So then Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Qadiani later on says he was not aware until he received revelations that it was him that is that Messiah. So Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Qadiani never believed that Jesus is physically with his body sitting alive in the heavens, but it is spiritually that he is sitting spiritually with his ruhu, with his second life. And when he comes back,
I'll read.
It is not
I'll read one line and correct me in this. So I'm reading Brahine Ahmadiyya, part 4, English translation, page 280. He says, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib says, and it's English translation done by the Jamaat, it's not my translation. He says, hence Hazrat Masih went to take his seat in the heavens, leaving the Gospels incomplete, and it is the same incomplete book that remained available to people for a long time. But finally, God revealed Holy Quran in keeping with the prophecy of what that innocent prophet and bestowed upon mankind the comprehensive law that he did not enjoy, like the Torah. So hence, Hazrat Masih went to take his seat in the heavens, leaving Gospels incomplete. Urdu में है, so Hazrat Masih तो इंजील को नाकिस की नाकिस ही छोड़कर आसमानों पर जा बैठे. This is clearly talking about a physically going up with his body. There's absolutely, and this is just to, so people don't get it wrong. This is when Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib actually had the same belief as the general Muslims. This is so nobody can say that Mirza Ghulam believed this towards the end of his life. This is not our claim. This is not our claim at all.
That's one. It's like saying, Christians, they say, that we believe that, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, married such a Hazrat Isha to such a young age, and making all these allegations, against Islam, it's like the Yahudis, claiming that Muslims, and Auzubillah, falling into terrorism and all this kind of stuff, it's like saying, the Hindus, they claim that Islam, Auzubillah is
okay. So we have a such a religion. My brother, we just have a text. We just have a text on hand. I think so. It will be more appropriate to just discuss the text instead of talking about sensitive issues, right? I've been very respectful in terms of how do I address Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib. Yeah, I don't think it's right to actually go to Nabina Muhammad Sallallahu, because that's a very sensitive thing.
Okay, so brother, the way you say that, the same thing with Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad as well, because you have to also remember he is also a prophet. Muhammad Sallallahu is also a prophet. Of course, Muhammad Sallallahu
but you have to understand,
you have to also respect
Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Yes, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib is not a prophet to me. You have to understand this, right? And thus, I'm not saying anything disrespectful towards him. I just verbatim read his text, right? I'm not here being disrespectful at all.
Okay,
now, Nabiyana Muhammad Sallallahu is a common prophet between you and us. So if you say that I don't believe in Nabiyana Muhammad Sallallahu and I'll behave like Christians, then I'll cease talking to you. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. But it's a given that you and I both love and respect Nabiyana Muhammad Sallallahu. If you say, no, I'm going to defend Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, I'm going to be like the Christians and I'm going to raise the finger of Nabiyana Muhammad Sallallahu, I'm going to cease talking to you.
Okay, so
it's as simple as that.
But what you have to understand is, that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if you see, the Christians, if you see all these other people, they will say the same thing, that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not a prophet to me. So
yes, and I would not engage with them, to be honest. If they're disrespectful, If they want to read the hadith, they're more than welcome to read the hadith. I don't think there's any disrespect. If a Christian comes and he reads the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, no disrespect there, no issues there, no problems there. The same way I'm reading the books of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, somebody wants to read a hadith, no problem there, because I truly stand by every single word of Nabiyyina Muhammad sallallahu. Whatever he said is haqq. I'm never going to say whatever he said or whatever he didn't do is not haqq for me. It is haqq, absolute haqq. If somebody can prove a statement that is connected to Nabiyyina Muhammad sallallahu and can't prove that he said it, Nabiyyina Muhammad sallallahu and has done it, I'm going to stand by it. Wallahi, I'm going to stand by it. I'm not going to say you misconstrued this, that, everything. I'm going to say whatever he said is haqq. I have the same approach towards it like Nabiyyina, to the statement of Nabiyyina Muhammad sallallahu like Abu Bakr. If he said it, it's that way, right? Okay, so the same way. Yes, I just read Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. I did not lie upon him. I did not do anything. I just mentioned Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and I read literally verbatim statements of his.
Okay, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, I'll give you a challenge. Your challenge is, okay, where did Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that a human being can go alive in the heavens with his body?
He literally, in the hadith, it is implied. And nobody had any issues with it believing, because I'll tell you where it says it. Where it says it. When the kuffar came to Abu Bakr, they asked him that your sahib, your companion, says that he traveled in one night, he went to Jerusalem, and then he went to the heavens, he came back in one night. Do you believe it? Abu Bakr asked them, did Muhammad say it? They said, yes, he's saying that. They were happy that Abu Bakr is going to have the same approach. He's going to say, this is impossible. So it must be that Nabi Muhammad is saying something that is not correct. Abu Bakr said that if Muhammad said it, I believe it, I accept it. I have the exact same approach towards Nabi Muhammad sallallahu. Every time he says, and this is the principle, you asked for the principle, I just gave you the principle. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu claimed in front of the kuffar that I physically traveled there, then I physically traveled to the heavens and I came back in one night. If it was anything except for the physical travel, there wasn't a question of nobody would be amazed that how can this happen? So they were amazed and they were using it as an allegation against Nabi Muhammad sallallahu. And Abu Bakr made it completely clear. I don't understand it, how it's going to happen. It's not common sense to me, but I accept it because it is Nabi Muhammad sallallahu claiming it. Simple as that.
Right, I think, unfortunately, mashallah, yeah, it's good. You know, you obviously have loads of passion, you know. Believe in that Jesus went up life. That's good, okay, mashallah. Yes, Brother Omar. Assalamu
alaikum. Brother Mo, I just have one question. I wanted to think about this. You believe that Mirza Sahib is the second coming of Muhammad sallallahu, which means that basically he was a perfect reflection, right?
Yes. Correct,
that he was a perfect reflection. So, do you also believe that Mirza Sahib is like the dust, is just like dust on the feet of Muhammad sallallahu?
Yes, you can say that. Yes.
So how does it make sense to you that the perfect reflection of Rasulullah is just like a dust on Rasulullah's feet? How do you reconcile the two?
Because, Baba, what you have to understand is that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Qadiani said, I am only the slave of Muhammad sallallahu. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Qadiani said, you know, that I've only come because of the approval of Muhammad sallallahu.
But to be a perfect reflection, that means he's not a perfect reflection if he's a slave, right? If he's a slave, then he's not a perfect reflection. Rasulullah was not a slave to anybody except Allah.
Baba, what you have to understand is, we are a slave to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is a slave to Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu. In a sense, you know that whatever Muhammad sallallahu has taught, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is saying, I am teaching the same thing. I've only come in the footsteps of Muhammad sallallahu, and I've only come, you know, to fulfill the prophecies of Muhammad sallallahu.
No, I'm not talking about the prophecies. We can discuss that another time. But the fact that because if you're fulfilling prophecies,
but what you have to understand is Muhammad sallallahu said, okay, if I did not create Muhammad sallallahu, I would have not even created the universe. So what you have to understand is we have to love Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to do, send durood on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, brother, I know. I love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I send the root all the time, but that's not the topic. I'm asking you that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, Mirza Sahib, is a perfect reflection of Rasulullah according to belief. So how can the perfect reflection be of a lesser degree? How can it be like, how can you at the same time say I'm just like a dust? I mean, I think it's an insult to Rasulullah to say Rasulullah's perfect reflection is like a dust on the feet of anybody.
Okay, so bro, what you have to understand is, there's also certain meanings to it. The meaning is, that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Islam, has only come in the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he's only come just to teach what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Islam is saying that, that he is, everything that he says, is, with the proof of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So whatever Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Islam is saying, I am teaching the same thing. I am not come to change anything that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has changed.
So, but the Sahaba were also doing that. The Sahaba were also doing that, and Umar radiallahu anhu was also doing that. He was actually a perfect reflection of Rasulullah, and he was also receiving mubashirat, like he was in a muhaddath, communication from Allah. So I don't know what makes Mirza Ghulam Ahmad special.
Because you have to understand.
Because Umar radiallahu anhu, I mean, actually the Quran tells us, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Rasulullah is the best example, and we have to follow him. That's the aim of every Muslim. So I don't know, we are not prophets. I'm not a prophet just by following Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I'm not going to claim to be the same as Muhammad, and also claim to be the dust, not worth the dust on the feet of Muhammad. If I claim that, then I'll be insulting Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That I'm saying I'm exactly perfect reflection of Muhammad. By the way, my personal belief that nobody can ever be as perfect as Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can never be, because if you are the exact copy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you are at the same level as Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You cannot be saying that I'm like the dust on the feet of Muhammad. Then there is something wrong with you. There is something less that makes you be just like the dust on the feet of Muhammad. So you cannot say you're a perfect reflection of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and at the same time they say I'm like the dust on the feet of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't think it's reconcilable. I don't know, Arise, what do you think?
No, bro, you have to understand, it's not physically. He's not saying that, yes, I am like, he's basically just saying in a sense, that he is just a slave of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you don't understand, then, brother.
I understand your point. I understand his claim, but
yes.
Okay, all right.
So basically, I think so, because in Kalmatul Fasl, Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud Sahab was making a very interesting argument. And I think so, Mo, if you can just use Chat GPT to translate or something, it's a very good read. It's not very long. It's quite a good read. It's just 90 pages from what I remember last time. So he's making a very nice argument. He's saying that because he's saying that a prophet was zilli. Is that a lower status than the regular prophets, or no? And in that he's making an argument because the zil is a perfect copy of the original. That's why he said कि इसने मिर्जा मसीह मऊद को पीछे नहीं घटाया, बल्कि यहाँ तक ला खड़ा किया कि नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से शाना बेशाना ला खड़ा किया. He said that this kind of prophethood, because he's a perfect copy of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it did not degrade him. It actually elevated him to the status that it brought him shoulder to shoulder with Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? So it might be that our brother Mo is not aware of this claim, but this claim is out there that Nabi like Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib is in equal standing to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in their theology. It's just, yes, these a different category of prophethood, but Nauzubillah, he's either equal, and in some regards he actually writes that unko ek juzvi fazilat thi. So in some things Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib is actually exceeding Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nauzubillah min zalik, according to the theology of Mo. So I think so if Mo reads more on this, he'll be amazed himself what's been written on this topic.
Okay, thank you. That's the one I was referring to, Horizon 1, and I do have the English translation of Kalimatul Fasl. Maybe I can send it to Mo, but he can read Urdu, right? Mo, can you read Urdu?
No, I cannot read Urdu, no.
Okay, maybe I'll send you the English translation, inshallah. Then you can have a look and then understand. So at least you'll understand what we are referring to, because I don't want to put you on the spot without even knowing what I'm referring to. But inshallah, I will send it to you in English. I also have to leave, and Arise has to leave. So please, the people in the comments, be respectful. Mo is a very, very nice person. You guys being disrespectful does not help anything. So please be respectful to Mo. And Mo, I'm really, really sorry if anybody offends you. I hope you have a good live session. I'm going to leave as well.
Exactly, brothers. Thank you for coming on, brothers. MashaAllah. It's always good to see you both, brothers. Every time you both come on, you know, it seems like I'm speaking to twins, you know, so MashaAllah.
Yeah, same. Thank you, Mo. That's very nice of you to say. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.